but we're going to show that the bar, we always hear from Chris and the rest of them how the bar is bad. They're bad. But I'm going to tell you, the bar dropped the ball. We're going to show where the bar dropped the ball. We're going to show where the bar on a complaint actually called E-Clause sovereign citizenry. And they said this was such a crime that it needed to go all the way up to federal court and federal attorneys, okay, in order to get their state attorneys, to get this handled, because you not only had unauthorized practice of law, you also had the extremism and the sovereign citizen stuff in it. And we're going to show where what they should have done instead of kicking it around all this time. Hallett would be alive. Neely would not be in jail. And that is a fact. Yeah. That is an absolute fact. So I'm not taking blame away from Neely. She pulled a trigger. If she did it, she pulled a trigger, and ultimately that's her burden to bear. But I'm just saying there may be wrongful death suits on behalf of people at the bar. There's a lot of stuff here that's about to come out, and this show really took off. We hadn't even got to the bones of it yet. Right. But dude, this thing is deeper. We're not anti-Neely. We're not anti-Hallett as far as a person, but we are very much, I can tell you, E-Clause is a joke, a fantasy, a bogus situation that doesn't exist. And I'll debate any of them on this issue, with or without someone like Karen here helping me. It's simple to understand. They draw pictures and graphs and all this pretty stuff back there, but brother, there's people that watches Kirk Law Corner with them two guys on it 2 hours a day, 3 days a week, 52 weeks a year, which whenever you get that all figured out, you're 312 hours a year, and they'll watch it for 3 years. They'll watch it for they'll watch 300 hours a year for 3 years, which is 900 or 1,000 hours, and can't tell you what they just saw. Now, that might be good entertainment, but that'll get your rear end in jail whenever you need to be calling Karen or somebody else to get you out. That will put you in a mess. And it's nice entertainment. It's razzle dazzle. And look at this. What 1 + 1 is 3, Kurt said. But that word salad stuff doesn't work when you get right in the courtroom, which, by the way, Maria had found too, and I don't know if everybody out there knows it, but it looks like from the Ammon Bundy thing in the Idaho courthouse that Kirk right now has got a failure to appear warrant. Right now.
Wow.
He didn't show up for his own hearing, apparently.
A warrant was issued for him on October 9th.
Yeah. Do you have a copy of that, Maria?
I can actually, I've got the 8 here. I can pull it up and you can see it yourself.
Can you pull it up?
Hold on a second.
I would like to see that.
All right, hold on a minute. Let me share my screen.
Randy, go ahead. While she's pulling that up, go ahead.
This is the 88 County, Idaho. It's going to the website. It's dragging a little bit.
I just think people need to see this for themselves. I know it's going to take a minute to bring it up, but I think it's important for people to see this.
There it is. Failure to appear for misdemeanor citation. He has an open case concerning, we believe it was his arrest, for that whole bit that he did at the Capitol in August. The charges were filed on the 5th or something along those lines, and I guess he was supposed to appear on the 10th. He didn't. There were some minutes that were taken, but I guess they set another date. I don't know. But anyway,
dates are
it was issued right here on October 9th.
Right.
Yeah, and we've posted a lot of that mug shots, because here's the thing, folks, and I'm just telling you, and Paul, you need to know this. Chris Hallett's never won anything.
Right. Exactly. Right.
I mean, I'm being honest, not even in his own case, not in anybody else's case. He never won anything. He's a loser. I won mine. I can produce it. People have seen it. They can go to the newspaper. They can go to the Fayetteville Observer and put in my name. That's the Fayetteville Observer. That's Fort Bragg. Fayetteville Observer, Randy Davis, you're going to pull up where they write about, I'm the only man to ever win a FERPA case. This is not made up stuff where we wanted to go make money or whatever, but Hallett and them never did. Kirk never has. And here's another thing. My son is a U.S. Marine. And look, he has got 4 combat battle ribbons. He was in Afghanistan. He was stationed at Lejeune. He was in Afghanistan as soon as it got hot, and he actually got sent up with recon with 10th Mountain Division, and he's had brains blew all over him. He actually did stuff, but we cannot find, and we wish we could have got with Lejeune before the day, but nobody's got back to us. But I find nothing where Kirk actually has ever been on Marine, especially with an honorable discharge. And if I find out, and they find out that he's got a stolen valor thing going on, he'll get punished severely for that. You can believe that's not online. You're done if you're out here stealing valor. I've never seen one single thing to indicate other than he puts a flag behind it. And Semper Fi, always faithful. Kirk has been anything but faithful. Ask Shannon, ask Neely, ask any of them. So he's a bad dude if he's out here stealing. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not accusing him of it, but I'm saying, because there's some guy in there saying, asking me to please show the evidence of where Hallett should be shot. I can't show the evidence where anybody should be shot.
Right.
I can't. I really can't. We can't show the evidence where he shouldn't be shot, though. We don't know what he did. What if he was eating babies? Whoever that is that Melissa said is doing that, can you show me Hallett's not eating babies? Because I believe he's eating babies. That's why he was so big. He was eating babies. He was barbecuing babies. He made sauce and put on babies. And that's what that all was. That's what eclaws meant. Eclaws is a foreign language that means I eat babies. And then get in my belly, fat bastard. Yeah. So if they can show me how he wasn't eating babies, I'll show him how he deserved to be shot. I never said the man deserved to be shot. No, but I can tell you this, anybody with any sense knows if you push somebody so far, we all know that there's a straw that breaks a camel's back. We all know that you can get a dog him in the corner and they're going to get you. And if he didn't do his due diligence and know what we're about to show you, then he's stupid. And he should have expected bad things to happen, but nothing's happened good when you've never, and you know it. He's never won. And as a matter of fact, we're later going to pull up. I don't know if you know it, Paul, or if anybody believed this when we've been saying it, but a federal judge in a federal court where Hallett himself filed pro se his own work in the court order resulting, which shot him down, and he went down like crashed and flamed out. In there, that federal judge's order said that Hallett's E-clause strategy craziness is a, quote, fantasy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they said it was a fantasy and they were not going to entertain it.
Let me ask you this, Paul. If you had known that Hallett had never won and that when he filed in his own case, that, if you're going to do something, you're going to do it right in your own case. But that a judge had said that his whole scam of E-clause was a fantasy, would you send your friends to him?
Not unless somebody's paying me money.
Exactly. I wouldn't, unless they weren't really my good friend. But that's some of the stuff we're going to go into here in a minute. And y'all ask him questions, and then if he's got time, he can watch what we're about to show. We're going to show the court orders. We're going to show the other stuff. And then at the end, we're going to end up dragging out everybody else. Francesca, everybody in the Justice League, where they ended up, how it all failed, how it all ties into David Strait, David Ozay, Cynthia Absug, and more. And it's going to get ugly by then, but we're going to put it all out, and then we're going to post it all on the Watchman page on Facebook, because a lot of these people are going to say, he's lying, they lied, they made it up. But evidence is evidence, and I'll debate any of them. Is there anybody trying to get in here to tell me that I'm lying, or are they just talking trash in the thing, Maria?
I don't Okay, somebody wants to talk. Let me see.
I just
Kamara?
want to thank the caller for calling in. Thank you very much. You've
Kamara?
helped us understand a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go, Christopher Hallett.
This is his case. He sued Congress of the state of Ohio, Trumbull
Yeah, he
County.
sued Congress. That's nice.
Child support
see why-
enforcement because he didn't want to pay his child support.
Isn't
Right.
that something? That's the same as Auntie Perry. We showed his stuff the other night. He never pays child support to help.
Yeah. But here's all of his stuff, and then I believe, let's see.
I'm gonna let you handle pointing that out and reading it, Maria. You're in charge. Don't let me
Oh,
down.
wait a minute. I may have the wrong one. Where is it?
Oh my God. I'm sorry, folks.
I know,
we
but that
all
one was
expect professionalism, but here we go. She's got the wrong court order. Of course, she's only got like 40 of them he failed in, so it's hard to keep up.
I could do a whole show on just that one filing right there that he tried to do.
Another word for John Gentry for governor.
Oh, wow.
Come to my new restaurant where I grind my.
All right, here it is. Having reviewed, I mean, he talks about this loss prevention up in here. You know, and we can upload this for everybody to see. We've done this before, but then you come down here and he says, when reviewing this, his ramblings lead nowhere, much less to something resembling a cognizable cause of action. As far as the court can discern, plaintiff is unhappy about family law. And plaintiff also appears to believe he is empowered by President Trump to operate a private legal system alternative to what he wants this court to recognize. The court declines to entertain plaintiff's fantasy that he is acting at the behest of the president, especially since he does not make claims related to these allegations. So the court will dismiss this action.
Well, right there, I got to tell you right now, if you're out there and you're trying to make your decision, should you go with A, Hallett's fantasy, or B, Fran's? Let's see, which one we go with? Fran will arrest your judge if you don't like it, and Gentry will remonstrance him. Yeah, but remonstrance is a fancy word that means in layman terms for the people on the street. That's the same thing in Latin as a reach around. Remonstrance in Latin means reach around. Okay. And then if you go down to Hallett, you've got the fantasy. Hey, let's do this. This one will be good. Let's go to a 911 call, or not a 911 call, but it's basically what this is called. We always tell folks whenever you have a case, you need to get your CAD narrative incident report so you know what happened. Well, this is basically a CAD. That means computer-aided dispatch or incident report. But this is where somebody found a naked woman in a car. And they thought they had found a suicide victim, but this is the aftermath, and Maria's going to show it to you.
Hang on, it's loading. Okay. There's two. Okay, here we go. Can you read this?
But you can.
Okay, let me see if I can
where's
make
Karen?
it bigger.
Can Karen read it? Karen should have had this memorized.
All right, this was in Somerville. And this is concerning Neely. I arrived at the incident location in reference to locating a suicidal person for EMS. I find the vehicle, Chevy Trailblazer, in the parking lot behind the church and went up to the vehicle. When I reached the passenger side of the vehicle, I observed the victim, Blanchard, naked in the driver's seat. I advised EMS of our location and they could come to the location. While waiting on EMS, I spoke with Blanchard, who was rambling on and not making much sense. Blanchard did state that she had drank alcoholic beverage, taken drugs, and was not but was unsure what. EMS arrived, and I asked Blanchard what she would like done with her vehicle, and she stated she wanted it towed by Howdy Boys at McCreary, and then Officer McCreary waited on the tow truck. It was towed by Howdy Boys Towing. Blanchard was transported to Somerville Medical by EMS. I arrived at Somerville Medical and spoke with Blanchard. Blanchard stated her stepfather had sexually assaulted her as a child, and she was just now realizing it. Blanchard advised her stepfather has now passed away. Blanchard also stated her boyfriend, Herring, who she lived with, is verbally and physically abusive towards her. There's another page to it. Let me go and minimize so we can go to that one. I think it's this way. Blanchard stated Herring gave her spice and also bath salts, which she snorted. Blanchard could not remember Herring's name, but gave me a business card. I didn't type with his name and number. Blanchard and Herring had just moved in together a couple of days before. I advised Blanchard her residence is in Dorchester County and she would have to speak to a deputy about her boyfriend abusing her. I notified Dorchester County of the situation and where Blanchard was located. Somerville Dispatch notified me that Herring was on his way to the hospital to get his phone from Blanchard. Upon Herring's arrival, I spoke with him about the situation. Herring advised Blanchard had been fine until 2300 hours when she took his phone. Herring believes Blanchard might have seen text messages between him and his other girlfriends and got upset. Shortly after that, she stormed out of the home, leaving in her vehicle, but she had clothes on.
So this was in January 13th of 2011, just a lot of drug use.
No, July 13th,
July
2011.
13th, 2011. Yeah. And we have the evidence of the drug use there.
Right. And that's evident. I mean, we see it in her court order. There's a problem with drug abuse.
Yeah.
She admits that she had a problem, that she had there was drug use. So, no, that's not contested.
So E-Clause kind of thinks this is the model mother that they need to help out to, get her kids back. Really?
Well, more in the lines of the fact that, I mean, knowing that she had a difficult past in history.
Yeah.
They didn't properly vet her. They didn't check to make sure she was stable, she was sound, I mean, her history goes all the way up, right up to continual.
Yeah.
And then instead of, stepping back, they send her on a wild goose chase, knowing this is a girl that has a lot of issues. She has a problem with drug abuse, obviously some mental health issues. She's admittedly, I'm assuming if she's probably admitted to the abuse.
Yeah.
And you're going to just parade her around and use her and abuse her. That's kind of my view. I'm angry about the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like they took advantage of her.
Yeah.
Well,
That's just
Maria,
the iceberg.
yes, and that's just one. There are several, but my point is, and somehow they have convinced a whole group and numerous amounts of people on social media that this is someone that the deep state took her children. The government is against her. And when you look at the evidence, you have a pattern all the way back from 2011.
Actually, goes back further. Goes all the way back to 2009.
Right, but right now we're at 2011. 2011, we've already seen 2013, 2014, 2011, but yet somehow these people on social media have pranced her around and had her actually believing some of the things, the bloody thumbprints, this, that, and another. And this was not a case where CPS stepped in and stole a child.
Yeah.
There was no stealing of children going on here. We have a mother, and I'll go back to my point. There was a custodial order entered because she was unable to care for her child and then children. after the twins. When you take your biological child against that custody order, you will be arrested for kidnapping. And those orders are in place, just like this order, to protect the child.
Here's the issue I take with this. If you're going to be taking care of Neely, with all of the difficulties that she's had and knowing the patterns of behavior she's had, you don't send her down the road of deep state QAnon, they're, eating babies, endocrine, and all that other mess. You focus on getting her back on her feet, getting her the help that she needs, and, so she can be with her children. Not all of this crazy stuff. They did not help her whatever in any aspect for her to have a healthy relationship with her child or her children. They sent her down a death trap.
They didn't care about the kids. They want to use this mother so that they can try to use their rhetoric and court documents and file this and file that and try to get a win in court. They could care less about the children.
Yeah, she was a guinea pig. She was a guinea pig.
That's all they want. They want to win in court because they can't win. They can't. And I'll tell you what, they can't even debate a college either. I've thought about that all week. I bet they couldn't even get on a
Let me ask you, Paul.
debate college with their crap.
Ronnie, let me ask you, or Paul, did
Yes, ma'am.
did Hallett ever appear in court for Neely? Ever? Or just file paperwork?
I know they were on a Zoom together in court.
Wow.
A Zoom hearing.
Yeah, they were in a Zoom there in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But did he actually go to court for her in her custody case down in Florida?
I have no idea on that.
Yeah.
Because one of the things
to me,
that
Maria, I will tell you, to me, it doesn't matter. He certainly filed a notice of appearance for her in that case in Florida, because I've seen it.
do what?
He filed a notice of appearance.
Yes, we have that. That's
for her in
right.
the case of Florida. So the standard is he doesn't have to appear. That is enough. That's practicing law without a license, and there's no doubt in my mind if this guest is saying that he appeared on a Zoom hearing, I'm sure he did. I mean, the only reason he didn't show up in Byler's case, and by the way, if he would have, that judge was notified that he was not a licensed attorney in Florida. But I don't think he had the means to get there. And so, I think there's a bigger picture here also. You've got the sovereign citizens, you've got the QAnons, you've got all these conspiracy theories, and they infiltrated a whole movement on social media, because usually you see the sovereigns in representing themselves in traffic court, taxes, foreclosures, evictions. But then they delved into family law and they started messing with cases that involve children. And I'll be the first to say, it's not just, they didn't do anything from Neely. You've got children involved. She's got 3 children. And these 2 twins, what these men have done inevitably hurt those children in the long run, because they don't have a mother. They don't have a mother that's sane. They don't have a mother that, and let me say this as well. The mental sanity part of this, it's a whole different standard in criminal court. Are we talking about the problems that she had, her mental issues? Yes. But when it comes time to whether or not she is capable and able to stand trial, that's a whole different thing. And the bar is not very high.
Yeah.
So although we can say this was done, she had mental issues, she had this, she had that. Do I believe that would be a valid defense for her? No. Will it be tried? Maybe. Her defense counsel may try that, but it's really hard, because
and she was the perfect victim for them because she was their biggest champion.
But with my point in that is, they say they advocate for children and they stand for children, but in all these cases where they're involved, they're hurting children.
Yes, and I agree with that 100%.
But here's the thing, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. You got Neely, and then you got Neely's mom, and there's a lot of people out there, oh, my God, Neely's mom, she's an alienator. Neely's mom is crazy. We talked to the other attorney, and they let us know down there for the older girl that's 12 years old. Neely had been reaching out to her, and that's against the court order. Neely's mom, nobody's to reach out to that little girl because things were so hideous, and they put her through so much all of her life. But nonetheless, they were. But I can tell you, and we're not going to show all of this because this is really eating up a lot of time, but Neely's mother in Monk's Corner, it's Monks Corner, South Carolina. Monk's Corner, South Carolina. Neely's mother ran over a social worker. Now, and that's the same mother that's got the twins right now. So if y'all are looking at reasons to go at her mother, number one, you need to think about this because I don't even know. Karen doesn't know how. The attorney, Laree Hensley, doesn't know how, which is the attorney for the paternal grandmother of the 12-year-old. Nobody knows how Neely's mother has actually got these two twins because she's crazy. She ran over social workers. She's put up with all of this with Neely. Neely has beat her over the head with a walker. She's beat her over the head with a suitcase. We've got those orders. I don't even know if we need to show them here. I think we might just actually post them to the Watchman because nobody in their right mind thinks that a little more evidence of Neely being nuts is gonna work on Neely's mother. There's plenty of blame to go around in this whole thing, whether it's Pendergrass, E-Claws, Hallett, Neely's mom. But I'm telling you, these are crazy people out of control doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, and they're doing it to a woman that's fragile, and you should know it's going to be a powder keg that's going to blow up. But this is not a bad court. If you want to see a bad court, you go to acting up right now about Neely's children, and you know what's going to happen? They're going to put those children into therapeutic foster care, and nobody in that family is going to see those little girls. That's what'll happen. That's just how real life actually happens. So I don't know how much more we want to beat the drum there, but I do want.
Apparently, Neely's mom is in the comments.
Well, Neely's mom is nuts. Sue, whatever her name, ask her. Somebody ask her if Sue Blanchard is in the comments. Ask her. Tell her to call in, and I'll ask her what did it feel like to run over a social worker in Monk's Corner, South Carolina. I want the truth. If the reports and the articles
with the phone number is on, was posted with it, they can, she can call in if she wants to speak her piece. But we've got the documents to back it up.
Can you post where she can call in the chat?
Yeah, let me see if I can, I'll give it to somebody to post it in the comments.
Let's talk about it. Got a lot to talk about. Right, Randy?
All right, somebody's going to post it.
Talk about it or not. Yeah, but she's welcome to call in. She's welcome to do whatever she needs to do. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, and I'm not a psychologist, if you run over a social worker in Monk's Corner, South Carolina, during a DSS, most likely you were crazy. Let's see. Karen, here's what I want to do right now, Maria. While we've got Paul has been gracious, I want you to pull up what happened and what was sent to the state of Florida, because this is the same trick that
right.
Hallett pulled Hallett and John Gentry. John kind of skirted around things, but they're just full of crap. But the same stuff that he did to destroy Byler in the Pennsylvania case, Elizabeth Byler, he did in Florida. And there were people who reported it. And we're going to show you folks, and Karen's an attorney. She can explain what this means, but it's pretty much straightforward. And I hope Alexandria Goddard and Kim Picazio don't mind, because we're going to show it because they sent it back to us. And
all right. I'm going to show you the actual
and everything and what she's going to do.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, Maria, before you show the documents, because we understand what we're looking at, but sometimes other people might not understand what we're looking at. These are the documents where a bar complaint was filed saying that Chris Hallett was practicing law without a license, and it was filed with the Bar Association in the state of Florida. What you will see is their response to the complainant to the person that reported it. So Maria, do you want to show that, what their
Well, first,
response was?
Randy, do you want me to show the bar
Or do you want
complaint
to show
first?
show the bar complaint first.
Okay, this is the bar complaint that was filed with the state of Florida concerning Chris. And we'll upload all of these. This was filed December 23rd, 2019. Or December 23rd. And this is the full complaint. And this, Karen, you can kind of, if you want to explain it, because you said this was very well written.
It was very well written. And basically what it says is this non-lawyer, Christopher Hallett, is practicing law in the state without a license. They're reporting it to the state bar in Florida, who is the entity that normally would prosecute these. It's a felony to practice law without a license in Florida. However, what happens with the Bar Association is when they receive these complaints, if it's an actual non-lawyer, meaning it's not a lawyer in another state that's just not licensed in Florida, and they think something else is going on with it, sometimes they don't have jurisdiction to prosecute. So to get a second opinion, if that's what we want to call it, what Florida did in this particular case, and you can see this bar complaint, it goes through the dates and the filings of what he was filing, who he was filing them for, laying out a case of practicing law without a license or the unauthorized practice of law in the state of Florida. A very well written complaint. And so then you'll see that, and it goes through, it's got some federal filings. He was filing in a federal district. And then it's also, Maria, if you'll pull up the exhibit where there's a notice of appearance where in Florida, that's the middle district of Florida, but he filed in Neely's case in the First Circuit, which is, I believe, Pensacola. He filed a notice of appearance and put that fake bar number on it. See his license number and bar number? Those are not real bar numbers.
Wow.
So this was done and reported to the state bar in Florida in December 2019.
This is Neely's case.
And then there's the notice of appearance that was filed on behalf of Neely in her case. It's got that fake bar number on it. So
okay, while y'all are never mind. Go ahead.
What happens is then and look, there's Kirk Pendergrass all over it as well.
Right.
It's got the family court case. It's got the case action summary of where he filed the notice of appearance. Okay. It's got his name. That's the actual filing case action summary from that case.
And did I actually see the E-Clause icon on that document also?
Yes, and he filed the E-Clause certificate and all that nonsense as well. But the point is this. So then the complainant does this, files this bar complaint, which is the appropriate place to file this complaint. And then the Bar Association sends a letter out to the complainant and says this. Maria, if you want to.
Well, first, let me show you the letter that was sent to the Attorney General's office.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. And basically what they did was the Bar Association looked at this and realized it's probably something bigger. And so they in turn forwarded the bar complaint to the Florida Attorney General's office. And that's what Maria is going to show now. And this is where they forwarded it to them.
Maria, what was the date on that? Again,
this was actually January 17th.
Wait a minute, hold on. Where's the one that they're about to forward? Because we need to key in on that. Don't worry about the date yet. It was this year.
This is the one that they forward to the state's attorney.
This is it. And I want everybody to realize that it says this is from the State Bar Association. Go back to the top, Maria. This is from the State Bar Association in Florida. And they are sending this to the Office of the State Attorney in Ocala, Florida. Okay. And they give their case number for the unlicensed practice of law, and they're telling the AG's office in Florida. They they put the complaint for them. And look at what it says. It says to the AG's office of the state of Florida. Go down a little bit, Maria.
That's it. That's all that's on here.
Okay, I'm behind you, so it's moving slower for me.
Okay.
Okay, and everybody can read that for themselves. But it says that the complaint raised unlicensed practice of law concerns because Mr. Hallett is not a member of the Florida bar. Generally speaking, to practice law in Florida, one must be a member of the Florida bar. Additionally, Mr. Hallett appears to be a sovereign citizen.
Wow.
The state
Okay, but
bar
here's
of
something.
Florida.
So it says it right there.
Yes.
Citizen.
Okay, and then because I'm telling you, it's not hard for law enforcement or people in the judicial system. We can recognize a sovereign citizen by the wording, by everything they're saying. So then the bar goes on to say the Florida Bar Standing Committee, blah, 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 the investigation and prosecution of unlicensed practice of law complaints involving sovereign citizens. Because the unlicensed practice of law is a third-degree felony, those individuals are often engaging in other criminal activities. The committee determined the unauthorized practice of law complaints against sovereign citizens should be referred to the state attorney's office for investigation and any action it deems appropriate.
And Karen, I have a question for you right there, okay? Because it goes down to something that I have been thinking about here in Kentucky. Why would the Secret Service get involved in a kidnapping charge? Because normally they're involved in much larger things.
Well, I think because of everything that is tied together, this is my opinion, but I think in reviewing everything that's been going on with all these people, that they have been watched. I think the FBI has been involved. I think Secret Service has been involved. You have to understand that they go under the guise of Trump gives them permission to do these things. So we're going to have a lot of different federal agencies involved investigating all of this.
Okay. And Randy,
Okay.
what?
Yes, did y'all need me?
Randy, where do you want me to go next? You want me to pull up the letter from the bar to Alexandria?
Let me backtrack though. So what we have is a bar complaint that was filed. The bar takes it seriously enough to catch it as sovereign citizens, then sends it to where they are supposed to, which is the Florida AG's office. And then let's show what happens, Maria.
Okay, well, first the bar notifies Alexandria of what they've done, that it's been forwarded to the state's attorney's office since the complaint alleges criminal activity and Mr. Hallett appears to be a sovereign citizen. Because the unlicensed practice of law is a third-degree felony, these individuals are often engaged in basically it's a repeat of what was said.
Right.
So
they report back to the complainant and tell the complainant what they're doing with the bar complaint.
Right.
And then the next document is a response from the AG's office, which is was it the 15th Judicial Circuit?
I'm getting ready to share
Florida.
It now.
And let me explain this. Let me explain this. In Florida, like every state, you have different judicial circuits. The state AG's office has different deputy attorney generals and their offices in each judicial circuit. The bar is located in probably Tallahassee in Florida. So they sent it to the 15th Judicial Circuit, which is where they're located. So now let's look at what happened.
Okay, this is the letter from the state's attorney to the Bar Association.
January 30th, 2020.
Yeah, it was not even 2 weeks later.
Yes. So look at the top. I'm sorry, it's the 5th. I was saying 15th. The 5th Judicial Circuit of Florida, serving Marion, Lake, Citrus, Sumter, Hernando counties. Okay, Pensacola, Florida is in Escambia County. It's in the 1st Judicial Circuit. So this
And so is Neely's case where he filed Santa Rosa County. That's
right,
also in the
it's
first
Escambia and
district.
Santa Rosa. Pensacola is close to Santa Rosa County. So that's in the first. So basically what you have here, folks, is the AG's office turns right around in the 5th Judicial District and sends it back to the Bar Association, and they say this: please be advised that the Office of the State Attorney has declined to file charges against the above named defendant for the following reasons. Only filing apparently done by the suspect was in the Federal Middle District Court. There is no indication that the suspect has filed anything in the state court in the 5th Judicial Circuit. Okay. In the complaint itself, there was a filing, a notice of appearance that was in the 1st Judicial Circuit in Florida. Just because the Bar Association sent this to the 5th Judicial Circuit AG's office, they in turn turned right around and sent it back and did nothing with it, didn't tell them to forward it on to the 1st Judicial Circuit, nor did they forward it to the 1st Judicial Circuit. So it was done. Nothing else was done with it.
And as a result, nobody was dealt, because nobody followed up with it like they should have. Had they followed up, maybe Neely would not have taken the measures she had taken, because Hallett would have had to deal with this investigation and everything else that was going on. Heck, she may not have even kidnapped her children, because this was done in January. She kidnapped her kids months later. In addition to that, had they been dealing with, the state had investigated, first of all, if they had done the right thing with practicing law without a license, but if he had been prosecuted on both ends, he'd have been so wrapped up in his own criminal matters, he wouldn't have time to do anything with anybody else. My thinking is he'd be alive today had they prosecuted or done what they were supposed to. They'd have tied his hands.
Well, I think that the 5th Judicial Circuit in Florida, that AG's office should at a minimum have sent it to the 1st Judicial Circuit themselves, or in their letter back to the bar, told them to send it to the 1st Judicial Circuit.
I agree. They'd have tied his hands.
Well, I think that the 5th Judicial
I've
Circuit
got an echo going on.
at a minimum have sent
Well, I mean, really, this is so frustrating, because I feel like none of this would have happened had somebody done something in the first place.
Yeah.
And this is what we've run into all along. We have contacted feds, state attorney's office, and I filed a complaint with FBI and the New York State Attorney General's office. Hallett was in all of that. Nothing was done. Nothing was done. And now look where we're at.
Failure to follow up on what's been going on. And I agree with you, Maria, that had they followed up with failure to, failed to prosecute him for practicing law without a license in Florida, this probably would not have happened, because like you said, Chris would have been wrapped up in his own case and wouldn't have really fooled with whatever was going on in Neely's.